What the fookery is up, YouTubers? Folding kukri? I'll just leave that to you to find out. Today we're going to talk about the Spyderco Tuff. This is a DLT trading exclusive designed by Edgechimp. It's kind of a re-resurrection of a knife that had been released some time ago. This knife sports a 3.75-inch blade, though it only contains about 3 inches of usable space. Usable cutting edge, I should say. It's made of crewware steel, which is super tough, maintains a decent edge, and is non-stainless. It weighed in at 6.4 ounces, and it goes at a price of $315 US. This is not your normal Spyderco knife, which is just kind of, I should say, your normal Spyderco designer knife, which is a little bit artsy and odd. This is actually a serious user. And we're going to get down to that when we talk about the pros. It does have a medium-high saber grind. Most of your Spydercos have a full flat grind, but this one kind of ends at this little fuller here. And, that does reduce the slicing capability. Let me go ahead and just demo that. The slicing path really is only about as high as a cork here. In terms of it slices very well. Let's go through that again. So it slices very well, but again, just up to the top of that saber grind. So you're not going to be slicing apples really well. It's eventually going to basically just split the thing into two. The DLC coating is titanium carbonitride, which reminded me an awful lot of the Recon 1 from Cold Steel. And I'm not going to necessarily, I don't think this is necessarily one of the comparison knives, but I definitely noticed that, where it really picks up fingerprints a whole lot. And, it just has that. I think, if I had to guess, this is probably a titanium carbonitride too, the Recon. So very reminiscent of that. One of my viewers, Knife Center channel, actually go check out his channel as well, made mention that also the American Lawman. And I would say yes, the earlier versions of the American Lawman, it's very much like that, kind of a polished DLC in terms of the blade coating of that. Normally I don't like them, but on this one, it's really, really good. And the DLC on this titanium carbonitride is like 88, so it's harder than the steel itself. It's not going to be coming off. A very, very good thing. Kind of jumping ahead there. In terms of actual comparisons, I really would say the Cold Steel 8015 is probably definitely in that range. This is roughly around a $200 knife. Weighs in at 6.4 ounces. Again, 6.4 ounces. So they're different, balanced based on the way that it's basically designed. This one wouldn't necessarily chop so well, but they are both the same. They both have about 3.75-inch blade, and just come into that. You got your OD green. So that's definitely one of those. Well, I'll leave that one there. And then the other one is the Gemco knives 8020. Of course, again, impossible to get this one. That one comes in at, I think, that one was 6.1 ounces. And that's at a price of $425. So a little bit higher price level there. This kind of comes in between the two. But those are definitely kind of those hard use cases, if you will. So let me go ahead and put those away. All right. One other thing I do want to bring up is it's not really a comparison, but the Edgechimp designed the Shemp Bowie from Spyderco also. This is, kind of their fancier, dancier Bowie knife. This one has the peel ply carbon over G10, and then you've got your brass bolster there. Also, you can see kind of some of the similar lines there of the Shemp design. So that's just one of those things. I'll be doing a future actual full review on that one. Wanted to bring that out, though. In terms of the pros of this one, this knife is an amazing chopper. I was quite surprised. I said, you know what? This is very much kukri-like. Maybe you can handle it back here and run that thing through some chopping. I'm going to go ahead and intercut that right now. Okay, I know it is not a kukri, but the shape, it begs to be used like a kukri. So I'm going to go ahead and try to use this thing to see how well it chops. I just have this little pallet board. Just go fast forward it through it, but we'll see how well it does. So I'd say this thing chops pretty darn well. And in terms of the edge, that's perfectly sharp as it was out of the box. So yeah, the shape, if you had to chop a little something, it chops pretty darn well. So hopefully you had a chance to see that chopping in fast forward motion. But yeah, this thing was actually a very good and capable chopper. So in terms of the design of it, Very, very good, and that's definitely one of the great things. The choice of crewware with the DLC coating. Crewware is very tough steel, but not stainless steel. So with the DLC coating, I'm imagining that's going to provide some protection. It also definitely reduces some of the friction drag on the knife, so it's got to do the same for moisture as well. But I think that was a great choice for this knife, because this truly is a hard use knife. For the price, at $315, this is a user. This is not just one of their artificial sprint run scarcity pricings. I think this is actually a fair price for the $315. We'll get to some of the cons and where I think they could have maybe really closed that and made it just an absolute treasure for the price. As far as hard use goes, let's go ahead and throw on the gloves here. This one, it's not the easiest to handle with gloves on, but you can handle it. Certainly the Spyderco hole, whenever I think hard use, I think I'm wearing some thick leather gloves. Definitely works on the deployment. The retraction with the frame locks, not the best always. It's definitely not the best, but you can definitely put it away one-handed. In terms of some of those other comparison knives, they really just kind of outclass it. You got the thumb stud deployment and the scorpion lock of the 8015. That one's definitely going to be a better hard use knife. And then, of course, the 8020. That one's just, the shark lock is absolutely perfect for wearing gloves. So I would say those kind of edge it out a little bit in terms of that hard use category, but this is definitely still a hard use knife. One of the few hard use folders that I could compare it to. I did not go ahead and include an XM24 from Hinderer Knives, primarily because they're just in a different price range. You're entering into at the XM24 is like $575. That really is about two of these nearly. So I think it's kind of not in the same range. On the con side, I think they kind of miss one thing here. It's a beautiful knife in terms of what they did is some sort of nitride coating on the titanium. But they went ahead and on the G10 side, they put this steel slab. That should have been a titanium, honestly. They did drill some speed holes or whatever, some weight reducing holes there. But we have seen this before, and I was just not very happy with it. ZT did this with their special factory series of the 0562 and the carbon rather. Instead of putting titanium on this side, they went ahead and just put steel, and it just looks cheesy to have the steel piece there with the nice, the nice coating. They did the same thing at Spyderco, and I'm kind of disappointed. You can kind of see that for yourselves. So for me, this one should have been titanium, and it actually should have been coated or blasted. However this was done with this nice gray, should have been done the same way. That would have made this knife nearly perfect. So that's kind of one of the bad things. On this, also on the con side, you want to be careful on this knife. You don't want to just be sitting on the couch watching some TV. The retraction of it, it's because it has this massive finger choil. This thing can come very close to hitting you if you're just kind of releasing it. A lot of frame locks don't have that problem, but because of the way that this one has kind of no protection device there, or if you will, a lot of them have flippers. This one basically came down right on the edge of the knuckles there, and you want to be conscious of this one when you're putting it away. So this is not just like a flipper, or not a flipper, but a fidgeter crazy. You really need to kind of be conscious about this. And then also I already showed the small slicing profile. With this shorter saber grind there, you just can't, you're not going to cut through apples and other things. It cut boxes okay. It does get caught up on the shoulder there though, with this very thick blade stock. So it's not a great slicer, and this one is not designed to be. Really, I fell in love with this one when I actually did some chopping with it, and I said, oh yeah, very, very nice. So overall, I would say we send a lot of money to Spyderco for various strange designs and weird knives and things like that. I mean, think about like the Pochi or the Poochie, that little one that looks like a dog. I find some of those really not worth it. This one, for the materials, the Taichung Taiwan, fit and finishing. The G10 on this one, by the way, I kind of forgot about that. It is perfect. It's not sandpaper, but it gives you just enough grip there. So the G10 on that one, kind of forgot to put that down, is fantastic. But going back to the overall, this is one of those that is truly worth that $315 elevated price from Spyderco. So this one, yeah, could they have fixed just a couple things to make it perfect? Yeah, but this one is still a treasure. So hope you did like this. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe, and have a great day for yourselves. Take care now.